150 years ago, the Ottawa sports landscape was rather sparse, a mere shadow of today's sprawling assortment of individual and team championships, competitions, and celebrations. But if you head into the archives and carefully turn the pages of the dusty volumes, you'll discover there was enough athletic activity when Canada became a country to entertain and satisfy an Ottawa population of about 15,000. Rowing appeared to be the first on the Ottawa sporting horizon, with a competition in 1839. The 1860s also saw the formation of a snowshoe club, the Ottawa Lacrosse Club, the first track and field meet staged by the St. Andrews Society. The Ottawa Rough Riders Football Club was created in 1876. And by the 1880s, tennis was being played at Rideau Hall, the Rideau Skating Club opened in 1885, and boats were sailing at the Britannia Yacht Club. The first indoor hockey arena appeared in 1895, and a year later the first Canadian Swimming Championships were held. And Dr. James Naismith, who was born a three-point shot outside of Almonte, invented basketball in 1891. During the past several months, the Ottawa Sports Hall of Fame has delved into the history books, racked their brains, debated, and reduced nearly 300 potential moments into the top 50 spine-tingling memories from the last 150 years. Largely presented in chronological order, because trying to rank this list of premier sporting achievements from 1 to 50 would be nearly impossible. So here we have your top 50 moments in Ottawa's sporting heritage. The Ottawa Hockey Club was formed in 1883 and continued until 1934 as the Generals, the Capitals, the Silver Seven, and the Senators. 56 years after the original Senators folded in 1934, the NHL awarded Ottawa an expansion franchise on December 6, 1990. These modern-day Senators continue to capture the attention and hearts of hockey fans everywhere with amazing moments like last week's incredible Stanley Cup playoff run. On February 11, 1891, a small group of Ottawa women, which included Lady Isabel Stanley, the daughter of Lord Stanley of Preston, participated in the first recorded women's hockey game. No doubt one of the greatest achievements of Ottawa sporting heritage was in 1891 when Almonte's Dr. James Naismith introduced 18 young men to a game with 2 peach baskets and 13 handwritten rules. Today, basketball is the second most popular sport in the world. The Ottawa Silver Seven teams were Ottawa's first hockey dynasty, winning the city's first Stanley Cup in 1903. They defeated challengers over the next 3 seasons to serve as the Stanley Cup Challenge champions for 4 straight years, led by one-eyed Frank McGee. George Lyon, a man for all sports from Richmond, Ontario, won golf's first Olympic gold medal at the 1904 Olympic Games in St. Louis. In the first half of the 20th century, the Amateur Hockey Championship Allen Cup was considered as significant as the professional Stanley Cup. The Ottawa Cliffsides won the first Allen Cup in 1909, and 3 other Ottawa teams won the Cup: the RCAF Flyers, the Ottawa Commandos, and the Ottawa Senators. In the 1920s, the original Ottawa Senators were a powerhouse, with stars from the Ottawa area like Frank Finnegan, Cy Denny, King Clancy, and Frank Neighbor, who won the first NHL Hart Trophy and the first Lady Byng Award. In 1927, the year after Neighbor collected his 3rd and final NHL individual award, the Senators won the Stanley Cup, its final cup to date. Over 16 seasons playing with the Montreal Canadiens, Ottawa native Joël Joliette had many high-scoring seasons. Wearing his trademark black cap, he still ranks as one of the Canadiens' top offensive players. On August 8, 1936, Britannia Yacht Club's Frank Amiot ramped up his fluid stroke motion over the final 50 meters to produce an Olympic gold medal victory by almost 5 seconds at the 1936 Olympic Games in Germany. He was Canada's only gold medalist of the Berlin Games. In 1948, the first Olympic Winter Games since the end of the Second World War, Minto Skating Club's 19-year-old sensation Barbara Ann Scott was the reigning world and North American champion. and she was the darling of the European media and Time magazine's pre-games cover girl. Scott won the compulsory figures and the challenging free skate final to capture Canada's first and only singles Olympic gold medal in figure skating to date. Scott was untouchable in her performance and was later welcomed home by 70,000 fans in downtown Ottawa. And there began the everlasting love affair with the city and back-to-back Lou Marsh Awards as Canada's top athlete of the year. Fueled by a healthy contingent of skaters from Ottawa, including Patrick Guzzo, Thomas Hibbert, John Lecomte, Ab Renault, Red Schroeder, Irving Taylor, Bernard Dunster, and John Orville Gravel, undefeated Canada won the country's 5th Olympic Winter Games hockey gold medal at the 1948 Games in St. Switzerland. AAA baseball arrived in Ottawa in the early 1950s for a short time, but it wasn't until 1990 when Ottawa businessman Howard Darwin brought the AAA Ottawa Lynx to the city. The Lynx won their first and only Governor's Cup AAA championship in 1995. A number of professional teams in varying leagues have played since, including the Ottawa Champions winning the 2016 Independent League Championship last year. In 1955, University of Ottawa student Brian McNulty suggested adding some spice to its annual football game against Carleton University. So he asked if he could donate a stuffed bear to serve as the trophy for the winning team. Presto, the Panda game was born, and the fall game of stadium hijinks and on-field battles hasn't disappointed. The University of Ottawa leads the series with 33 wins, while Carleton has 15, including the past 3 wins. The Panda moment might just be the 2014 game, though, when Carleton's Nate Behar caught a 55-yard last play of the game Hail Mary touchdown pass to win it 33-31. The Memorial Cup has created great memories on both sides of the Ottawa River. In 1958, the Ottawa Hull Canadians won the National Capital Region's first Canadian Major Junior A championship. By the centennial year, Howard Darwin introduced the Ottawa 67s to the city, winning the Memorial Cup in 1984 and 1999. In 1984, the Q's Hull Olympiques were the victors. On February 6th at the 1990 Olympic Winter Games in Squaw Valley, California, Ottawa sensation Anne Hegdeviet won Canada's first ever gold medal in alpine skiing, dominating the field and winning by 3.3 seconds. Her Olympic gold doubled as the 1960 World Championship, at which she won gold in both slalom and alpine combined. Hegdeviet's performance earned her the Lou Marsh Award as Canada's top athlete of the year. Barney Hartman was considered one of the world's greatest skeet shooters, holding almost 30 global titles and world records. In 1963, he had one of his finest years, hitting 2,002 clay targets in a row without a single miss. In the 1960s, the Ottawa Rough Riders were a dominant presence, winning in 3 of 4 appearances in the Grey Cup Championship. Legendary head coach Frank Clare enjoyed a talented roster with greats like Russ Jackson, running back Ron Stewart, who set the league's one-game rushing record of 287 yards in 1960, and wide receiver Whit Tucker, who still holds the CFL record for the highest season gain per reception at 22.4 yards, and he also grabbed 2 TDs of over 60 yards in the 1966 Classic. On November 30th, 1969, Hall of Fame quarterback Russ Jackson played his final game as the Ottawa Rough Riders captured their 8th Grey Cup with a 29-11 victory over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Jackson tossed a Grey Cup record 4 touchdown passes, won his first national championship MVP award, and took home his 3rd career Grey Cup. As for his 12th and final season, he was named the CFL's Most Outstanding Player for a 3rd time, the Most Outstanding Canadian for a 4th time, a CFL All-Star for a 3rd time, and earned the Lou Marsh Award as Canada's Most Outstanding Athlete. Hall of Fame quarterback Russ Jackson walked away from the game on top. At the age of 16, Betsy Clifford became the youngest women's giant slalom champion, winning at the 1970 World Alpine Championships in Val Gardena, Italy. When it comes to celebrating football greatness, the Ottawa Rough Riders didn't own the exclusive rights. In 1975, the University of Ottawa GGs became the first undefeated team to win the Vanier Cup, securing their first of 2 championships, beating the University of Calgary Dinos 14-9. After starting quarterback Jim Colton was injured, the GGs were led in the final quarter by 16-year-old quarterback Yves Leclerc, who secured the victory for Don Gilbert and his team. Not to be outdone, the Ottawa Sooners have captured 4 Canadian junior football championships. In 1976, Sue Holloway became the first female in the world and the first Canadian to qualify for both a winter and a summer games, and in the same year, a feat that was unheard of at the time. The catch. Tight end Tony Gabriel made more than 600 career receptions for almost 70 touchdowns, but it's the catch to win the 1976 Grey Cup in the last minute that Ottawa Rough Rider fans remember the most. It's hard to believe that a race of 42.2 kilometers would be settled by a lengthy sprint, but that's how the 1978 National Capital Marathon played out on the campus of Carleton University when Brian Maxwell beat Paul Bannon by 1 stride and 0.2 of a second. The National Capital Race Weekend has long since been an established world-class event. Pat Messner is a water ski legend. She has won 4 World Championship medals, including the gold medal in the women's slalom in 1979, and won 18 Canadian Championship titles from 1965 to 1979. After being the 3rd best World Cup athlete in 1981 and 1982, 4-time Olympic ski jumper Horst Buelau put together a career performance on March 27, 1983, when he came within 10 points of toppling Finland's legendary and World Cup champion Matti Näikkönen. Simply put, New York Islanders Hockey Hall of Famer Dennis Potvin was one of the best defensemen to ever play the game. Among many accolades and awards, Potvin led the Islanders to 4 Stanley Cup victories in the 1980s and was a 3-time James Norris Trophy winner. In 1984, 40-year-old Linda Tom became the first woman to win an Olympic gold medal in shooting at the Los Angeles Games. She later was named recipient of the Velma Springstead Trophy as Canada's outstanding female athlete. At the 1988 Calgary Olympics, Minto Skating Club's Elizabeth Manley performed her best ever free skating program nearly perfectly. She was unmatched by any other skater, vaulting her up the board to win the Olympic silver medal and touch our hearts forever. In the 1980s, magnificent Belgian warm-blood horse Big Ben and his Perth rider Ian Miller were superstars on the international show jumping circuit. On November 16, 1989, Miller and Big Ben became the first equestrian team to win back-to-back World Cup championships. Rideau Canoe Club's Ren Critchlow made national history in August of 1991 when he became the first Canadian to win a gold medal at the World Canoe Kayak Championships. The 3-time Olympian defeated Norway's 13-time world medalist, Knut Holmen. National rugby team great Al Sharon was considered one of the most dominant forwards in the world in the 1990s. He played in 4 World Cups for Canada and earned a record 76 caps. He was captain of the Canadian squad 25 times. There's no better feeling for an athlete than when he or she can beat one of the best in the world. Al Sharon experienced that sensation November 10, 1993, as Canada upset Wales 26-24 before 27,000 fans in Cardiff Arms Park. One of the best second-leg relay runners in the world, Ottawa Lions Track and Field Club's Glenroy Gilbert was an invaluable element to the Canadian men's 4x100-meter team, which won Olympic gold on August 3rd at the 1996 Summer Olympic Games in Atlanta. Surrounding Gilbert's golden moment, the 5-time Olympian also helped Canada capture relay gold at the 1995 and 1997 World Championships. On July 28, 1996, Ottawa Rowing Club's Alison Korn captured her first major medal when she helped Canada win silver in the women's 8s at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. From 1996 to 2000, Korn reached the international medal podium an additional 7 times. Ottawa skip John Morris set a world record on March 28, 1999 at the World Junior Curling Championships when he skipped his Canadian rink to back-to-back championships, the first time that feat had been accomplished by a country with the same skip. Greg Saville played third and Brett Lang was the lead, while Andy Ormsby was the second in 1998 and Jason Young was the second in 1999. One of Todd Nicholson's greatest moments revolved around the 2006 Paralympics in Turin, Italy, where he not only served as Canada's flag bearer at the opening ceremonies, but he also helped Canada win its first Paralympic gold medal in sledge hockey, beating the defending champion, Norway. At age 21, Steve Yzerman of Nepean was named the youngest captain of the NHL's Detroit Red Wings, a title he held for 19 seasons until he retired on July 3, 2006. During that time, Yzerman led the Red Wings to Stanley Cups in 1997, 1998, and 2002, and was part of Canada's Olympic gold medal team in 2002. The 2007 Bell Capital Cup minor hockey tournament for players aged 9 to 13 was won for the Guinness World Book of Records. The 8th edition of the Bell Capital Cup attracted 510 teams and 8,670 players, making it the largest youth tournament in the world. On May 19, 2007, Ottawa Senators legend Daniel Alfredson scored the most important goal in franchise history, an overtime goal against Buffalo, sending the Ottawa Senators back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 1927. Ottawa soccer fans were in their glory not once but twice at Lansdowne Park as the FIFA Men's U20 tournament was held in 2007 and the FIFA Women's World Championship in 2015. Both tournaments attracted near-capacity crowds. Christina Groves is Canada's most decorated skater in the World Singles Distances Championship with 13 career medals. She has won 4 Olympic medals. At the 2008 World Single Distance Championships in Nagano, she won 5 medals, 1 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. On January 5, 2009, Canada defeated Sweden in dramatic fashion to win World Junior Hockey Gold, a record 5th consecutive time. Hosted in Ottawa, the IHHF World Junior Hockey Championship Tournament set a record for attendance at over 453,000 people. Jason Dunkerley has run and won medals all around the world. Born without vision, the middle distance runner won 4 gold and 1 silver at 5 World Championships from 2002 to 2015 and 3 silver and 2 bronze medals at 5 Paralympic Games. On March 10, 2013, head coach Dave Smart led the Ravens to their record-breaking 9th overall men's basketball title. The Carleton University Ravens men's basketball program is the greatest major varsity athletic program in the history of Canadian university sports, with 13 and counting national championships. Ottawa Lions Track and Field Club's Sultana Frizzell is one of the top women's hammer throwers in the world. On July 27, 2014, she improved on her Commonwealth Games hammer throw record with a gold medal toss of 71.97 meters in Glasgow, Scotland. On October 17, 2014, Ottawa 67's legendary head coach Brian Kilrea reached another milestone, oldest elite coach in hockey history. After retiring in 2009 with 33 years of excellence behind the 67's bench, Killer was invited back by the team to celebrate his 80th birthday. A 5-time OHL Coach of the Year and a Hockey Hall of Famer in the Builders category, Kilrea comes from good hockey stock as his 3 uncles, Heck, Wally, and Ken, all played in the NHL. Heck and Wally helped Detroit win the 1936 and 1937 Stanley Cups, and Heck added 1 more Stanley Cup with the 1927 Ottawa Senators. On June 12, 2016, Smiths Falls' Brooke Henderson became the first Canadian since 1968 to win a major on the LPGA Tour. At 18 years and 10 months, Henderson also was the youngest golfer to win the 62-year-old LPGA Championship and the second youngest to capture one of the 5 LPGA major titles. In 2014, Erica Wiebe of Stittsville won all 36 of her matches that season in the women's 75 kilo division, including the gold medal at the 2014 Commonwealth Games. 2 years later at the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, she won 4 straight matches, allowing only 2 points, and became the 3rd Canadian woman to win an Olympic gold medal on the mat. March 26, 2017 marks the date Ottawa Curling Club's Rachel Homan and her rink of Emma Miskew, Joanne Courtney, and Lisa Weigel won gold, capturing Canada's first women's curling championship gold medal since 2008, and won it going undefeated for the week. Never underestimate the physical and magical powers of an injured 41-year-old quarterback, especially if his name is Henry Burris. Playing through his pre-game knee injury, Burris put up record passing numbers, connected for 3 touchdowns, was named MVP, and became the oldest quarterback to win the Grey Cup as the Red Blacks stunned the heavily favored Calgary Stampeders 39-33 in overtime on November 27, 2016. For many decades, Lansdowne Park looked like an asphalt jungle with old and run-down buildings. There was even talk of tearing down the aging stadium, site of many great Ottawa sporting moments. Then along came the Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group with a vision, and in partnership with the City of Ottawa, revitalized the entire park, which is now considered the jewel by the Rideau. In November 2014, Lansdowne Park had a refurbished 24,000-seat multi-purpose stadium, an arena with seating for almost 10,000, plus a huge retail shopping area and a large urban park. The 5 men standing behind the $200 million renovation were Roger Greenberg, John Ruddy, Jeff Hunt, John Pugh, and William Schenkman.